Here's a quick look at the Samsung Galaxy S3, and I just got this in the mail from Verizon. Sees the Verizon 4G LTE logo on the rear, Samsung Galaxy S3, and I got the white version, of course. You can see the camera, sensor, and then the speakerphone and the LED. There's the headphone jack. And this is just a recessed area so you can lift off the back. It has a little Qualcomm 4G sticker. I know it's hard to see. And then on the very bottom, micro USB port. Here's the front-facing camera and a couple different sensors for light. And of course the speaker, the home button down here, and then the microphone is actually a little tiny hole right there. So I just wanted to show you guys the boot up screen. So I'm going to turn it on. Just holding the power button. Vibrates. Select the language, and then phone activation. I had to reboot the phone, and I put my other SIM card into it. See if it activates this time. Very, very bright screen, really dark blacks. It's pretty impressive. Choose the language, hit next, and wait for it to activate. Backup assistant, of course, if you ever use this. Enter your PIN to download. I'm going to do that off screen. Walks you through setting up your email. Next, next. Privacy caution. This talks a little bit about Verizon location services agreeing to their license agreement, standalone GPS services agreeing to that one, and of course Google location services. If you want to do a guided tour and Google service login, which you can do now or you can do later, I'm going to go ahead and add mine off screen. Signing in. And if you want to do backup restore from your Google account, it came from a previous phone, so I'm going to hit yes on that checkbox. You can swipe to the left or to the right to switch between home screens. Hit OK in that prompt, and you can access notifications by pulling down the notification panel from the top. Hit OK. To see all your apps, you just access on the bottom right that app drawer. So here's notifications, and this is swiping home screen. Very, very fluid. UI looks like it barely loads the processor, and this is gonna pretty much go through a bunch of my apps that I had pre-installed. You can see the TouchWiz UI implementation on the notification screen. You can lock screen rotation, turn on and off GPS, Bluetooth sound, etc. Here's Wi-Fi, and here's some of the things it's doing: installing my Chrome browser, iTriage, health apps, different apps I have. And there's already a bunch of updates. Let's check some of those out. Here's a comparison of the devices. On the right, we have a Galaxy Nexus. Middle is Galaxy S2. And then over here is a iPhone 4S. You can see how much smaller the iPhone is getting as time passes. The phone itself is much smaller. And one cool thing to show on the lock screen of the Nexus, of course you know you could slide to camera or slide to unlock with the Nexus UI, lock, unlock. Here on the screen you have kind of like a water ripple effect as you touch the screen. And you can swipe to unlock, just like so. Turn it off and then back on. Or you can swipe, go straight to the phone, email, messaging, and then email. And of course camera. Just gives you a little tip. Tap to hold the icons, then drag it to do the edit position shortcut. So on the camera you can actually change these icons depending on which one that you use. The main differences with the Nexus that I noticed, they're both running Ice Cream Sandwich obviously, but the Samsung will have the TouchWiz UI. The other thing about it is the screen is a little bit bigger, and it looks a little bit brighter and more colorful, more vibrant on the S3 that I've noticed. So far, I've noticed the processor, the Snapdragon, being just a touch snappier than the Google Nexus's older version, and also the battery life so far seems to be significantly better with the Galaxy S3, and I don't know that fully yet, but just from what I've seen with pretty heavy usage in the last hour or two, normally with the Nexus I'll have a much bigger drop in battery life. And I did get the extended battery on the Nexus, so they both do have 2000 plus milliamp rated batteries. So far the speed of the S3 is definitely a lot faster. The back button and setting button, it takes a little bit to get used to, and of course the home button, since the Nexus is all on-screen buttons, everything's just right there. And then with this one, there's of course the touchscreen area, and then you have these two hidden buttons, soft keys, and the hard home button. And you could long press the home button to get to your multitasking for the TouchWiz UI, and on Nexus you can hit the right key for the multitasking button. Let's get out of there. And you double tap to get to the voice menu. What would you like to do? That's the Samsung S Voice. Let's get out of there. The camera also, I noticed was a lot better, and along with the processor, it kind of behaved a little bit snappier when I was taking pictures or going from one to the other. So that's just a quick look at these devices. So after using it for another hour or whatnot, definitely liking the design, the feel of it, the pebble design being curved on the edges and whatnot. Very lightweight. Screen is definitely very vibrant, crisp, clear. The size of it doesn't seem too ginormous. It is on the bigger side, especially for small-handed people. Getting used to the back button being down there, and of course the lights time out after just a moment after not touching the screen. So just remembering that you could just tap the back button right there or the setting button right here on the fly. Watched a couple YouTube videos and some Netflix and whatnot. Screen looks great on there. Not that this would be your main screen for watching stuff on, but pretty nice screen. Also, part of the screen, the Gorilla Glass is very smooth to the touch, very hard surface, and of course scratch resistant. The photos that I took with the camera came out pretty darn good. The quality, the noise ratio and whatnot looked pretty darn good for a phone, even compared to the Galaxy Nexus. The front-facing camera is a little bit better. Don't use that too often but when you do, just know you're going to get a little bit better quality there as well. Phone quality, I did a couple test calls and they came out really good. Speakerphone was good, and so far I don't have any complaints with it. The phone is a solid buy. Samsung Galaxy S3. Samsung Galaxy S3 is definitely one of the top phones out there, at least for the next couple months, and we'll see what Apple and the other vendors have in store.